Hey, what is going on? It's Mike Clark. You already know what it is, man. And we're going to talk today about, what's it like being a landlord? Not just the side we always hear about the successes. Some aren't so much a success, but more of a win. And I want you guys to understand what my stance is, my position is on real estate. And I don't know. I guess for most people, they want a big amount of cash flow. And I don't get me wrong. I would love those home run deals that gives you that great cash flow at the end of the month. That you got so much money coming in, you can do whatever you want. And like, yeah, I'm winning. I'm winning. But I've gotten to the point where I'm understanding that margins are tight. I'm understanding the point where I want to become more of a long-term investor. And with that being said, it's the day-to-day grind that makes some landlords not love what they're doing. Now, I love what I'm doing. I really appreciate, and I'm taking the time to understand the business and understand more about properties and what it takes to make that great deal. Now, like I said, every deal is not a home run, right? The deal that my last deal that I had, I did the numbers and I knew it wasn't gonna be a home run deal. But what I did, and the way I also thought about this was, what kind of investor I want to be. And I really suggest you find out what kind of investor you want to be. Do you want to have immediate cash flow? Do you want to just buy and flip? Do you want to be a short hold and sell? Like, what do you want to do? Now, I want to embody all of that, all in one. I want to be a hybrid. I want a little bit of everything. But ultimately, I definitely want to be more of a long-term holder. I don't want to just be selling everything that I purchased and put my hard-earned time into. But with that being said, also don't get blinded where the point is you need to know when to get out. You need to know when to quit. I haven't made it to that point yet. I'm not there just yet. But like I said, I'm enjoying being a long-term investor. Now, buying this property, not only did I rehab it, not only did we have to put new tenants in it, not only have we got to the point where everything is done, but we're starting to see a little bit more breakage. One thing that we have done, despite all of that work we put in previously, no matter all that stuff that we went through, we got our systems in place during that. We end up finding out what works, what doesn't work, what's good, what's not good. For example, buying this last property I have, it's a 5-unit apartment building. Collecting rent, I've never liked the hand-to-hand collecting checks. I've never liked the collecting checks. I never liked going physically to collect rent money. I just don't, in 2023, I just don't believe you should have to do that any longer. Even back in the day, I still don't believe you should have to go do that. I feel like it's a power dynamic. One, two, I kind of feel like, and I say feel, not think, I feel sometimes people are judging you. Like, why am I giving you rent? And it just can create some drama, some unwanted drama. And that's just my personal opinion on it. When we bought the property, the first thing we were doing, and it took a good 3-4 months before we could even achieve this goal, was to slowly get our tenants to go on the computer side, right? Transitioning everybody online. That was a fight in itself because we had a lot of older tenants who didn't really understand why they had to pay rent through an online platform. I don't believe it was an education piece. I just believe it was just more of a preference. I believe they were just so used to always giving their rent directly to the landlord. That also gave you face-to-face time where you could talk about anything that was broken. You could, there could be multiple conversations. I remember when we were vetting this property, the seller's real estate agent would come out, and we would have to get in certain doors. We would walk around the property, and that landlord would have to be there personally because she had the keys. She knew certain things with the property, and it was a lot of face-to-face, like friendly, and I would say it like this because I'm really trying to be careful with my words, but you have to understand, as being a landlord, it's harder to make decisions when you have a relationship with those tenants. Not saying you shouldn't have a relationship with the tenants, you should. You should definitely make sure everyone's doing well, but it needs to be more of a professional sort of relationship. I felt like the previous landlord was more uh, friendly uh, with her relationship than she should have been, because one reason why she was selling it, and I could see it all over her face, she was actually having personal issues. That she spoke to us after the sale that she did have a lot of stuff going on, and that was the reason for the sale. Um, I mean, they were selling the property for 390. Now I was able to get it down to 310. Now you have to understand something had to be going on to take that drastic amount. That different price point immediately. Like they didn't even counter, they just took it. So with that being said, I kind of knew that there was something going on with this property, because why would she be so eager to just get rid of it? But anyway, like I was saying, you know, from fixing our property up from zero to where it's at now, to now having a maintenance guy that goes through and fixes anything that may be broken, and me not having to personally be there on the property to fix it myself, and having those systems in place, it really helped. So when we transition everyone, like I said, going back to the example, just trying to get the education of our tenants understanding, hey, old landlord left, new landlord's here. We're not just a normal mom and pop sort of landlord. We're trying to create a real system in place. That way we can replicate this and find out what works and what doesn't, and we can go ahead and we can send it to the next property. That's what I love about this process. You know, some days it's like I get real anxious because I feel like I'm not doing enough. Some days I feel like, wow, I'm a property owner. Some days I'm like, man, it's time to get rid of this thing. But all those emotions is what makes this exciting. Not only that, man, we all know that we're going into a recession. We all know that if you put your money into the bank, what those interest rates look like. And I would simply argue to you guys, like, some people could say, well, look, you bought this property building, and what you're getting for cash flow is not enough. You know, but if you think about it, I could have took the money that I used as the down payment to purchase this property, and I could have put it into the bank, which is around 80. I think it was about $80,000. I wouldn't have made nothing off of that money. Even after a year, I probably would have made what, $8, maybe, if that. You know, me putting my money and putting it into a property that will continue to appreciate. It will keep up with inflation. I'll get just a little bit of cash flow, but that's still a great return. And for whatever reason, if I want my money out, I can sell the property. You can never time the market, but just thinking logically, picking the right time to sell, I could get my money out. I finally understand the term of I'm not liquid, man. I am not liquid at the moment, man. A lot of people ask me for money. They think I got all this money, but I really don't. It's really tied up into investments. Like literally, it's tied up in investments. All my money goes into a property. All my money goes into the overhead. There's a lot of working pieces into becoming a landlord, to the point that I wouldn't even say landlord anymore. Just being a successful property owner and making sure that you're treating your tenants with respect. You know, that's what this episode is about. It just let you guys know that we're at the finish line, and you guys have to understand that what you guys see on YouTube and what I've seen even doing the research, you always see the finish line piece. But understand there's so much more in the middle, and it could range from a month or two to get a particular property done. It could take a full year, which this last property took a full year. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. It was a lot more money I thought it was going to take to rehab. It was a lot more issues than I thought was going to happen. We made it through. Now we have hiccups here and there. The next episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about what I actually have to do next, is why landlords are actually having to raise the rents. We're going to talk about that. The reason why I have to raise the rents, and I really don't want to, but I'm managing a property, and when it comes to managing a property, you have to manage expenses as well. And one thing that I'm taking, and I don't know about a lot of landlords if they do it or not, but I'm very transparent, and that's what I'm going to take moving forward when we do have to raise the rents. And so if you want to learn more, or you want to hear my suggestion on raising rents or how to get through it, definitely tune in to the next episode. But yeah, man, this particular episode, you guys already know what it is, man. I just had to come to you, let you know, and give you a quick update on my last property and what it looks like. Going forward this year, I want to talk about vetting the next property because I want to double property size. That's what we're going to talk about all throughout this year, vetting and trying to hit that goal before the end of the year. All right. But I love you guys. I appreciate y'all listening. To the next episode. Peace.